Yes. Shubhra Kumari.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
So, Shubhra, tell us about yourself first.
Sir, myself is Shubhra. We are 6 siblings. I did my graduation from Patna Women's College, did my master's in political science from Banaras Hindu University, and I completed my MPhil from Jawaharlal Nehru University.
So, you specialize in international relations.
Sir, not specialized in international relations. I submitted my dissertation on political participation of women in Kazakhstan.
Okay. So, America first. Trump says America first. So, does it go against globalization?
Sir, it is the right of every nation to focus on their own national interest. And when the Trump says America first, the principle in it, statement in itself is not wrong. But yes, I think being a country who is leading power in the world, they should have a more global approach in their functioning. And that is somewhere lacking in the Trump.
But these are the same countries who are promoting globalization.
Sir, but in recent years we have seen a retreat of globalization.
That's what I'm saying. So, is
Yes,
there a
sir.
change in stand?
Yes, sir, somewhere it is a change in stand.
This China has been promoting policy of one belt, one road. So, why India doesn't want to support this move?
Sir, India has some basic disagreements so far this overall policy is concerned. The first being CPEC initiative by the China that passes to the Gilgit-Baltistan region of pork, and that is seen as a contested area. India, it's a sovereign part of India, and China is its own initiative, which China's initiative is passing through this region. So the China said कि territory and sovereignty.
But a large number of countries support, more than 50 countries.
But they have their own interest. India has its own national
That's precisely my point. India's economic interest, how it is different from those 50 countries.
Sir, I think sovereignty and integrity of a nation is the first priority.
But those 50 countries, they refuse to recognize that you have any issue there. They say it's just a commercial initiative, financial.
Sir, but I don't see it as just as a commercial initiative. It is more a geopolitical and strategic initiative of China. And India, being a neighbor of China, we should look this initiative in a wider perspective.
So Modi government says that we will double the farmers' income by 2022. So do you think it's a very ambitious plan or is it practical? And if you were to give suggestions to improve, 3 actions, steps, please tell.
So idea is very good because India is still an agricultural economy at large. Somewhere agrarian distress is quite rampant in India and we need to tackle this. I will give some suggestions like firstly, we need to strengthen the market infrastructure. That's very poor poor in India because though the productivity is quite high, the farmers are not able to access the market and get the price that is required. So firstly, strengthening the market. And secondly, we should strengthen these farmer producer organizations. That they should be more strong so that they can provide a connectivity between the farmers and the market. And thirdly, access to credit. That's very important.
Shubhra, you are a student of political science. One sentence is here, government is not the solution, it is the problem. How can you define? And do you agree with this sentence?
No, sir, I don't see government in itself as a problem. How the government conduct itself, it is more important.
This is said by Ronald Reagan.
Sir, but I don't see government as a problem.
Your second subject is economics.
Sir, actually I want to clarify one thing. I did my honors in political science and these 2 papers were just subsidiary papers.
Okay. Do you know about Milton Friedman?
Yes, sir, he was a liberal economist.
He said, business of business must be only business.
Yes, sir.
Now, in India, first and second, ये तो दो sentences हैं, इनमें भारत के लिए आप कहाँ होप देखते हैं, मार्केट में या डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट में?
Sir, I think India should have a balance between market and democracy, because India should move towards a welfare economy, because we are a country where there are large number of poor. That's why we can't say that market can be the sole governing factor in India. State has to implement certain policies that are going to benefit our farmers at large. That's why India should go for a welfare economy that very beautifully collaborates these two factors, that is democracy and market.
Do you know about new Cold War?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me.
So the idea of new Cold War especially emerged with the assertiveness of Russia, and right now it is being also said in the context of rise of China, where both Russia and China is being seen as challenging the American dominance.
क्या मानती हैं कि वर्ल्ड इसमें न्यू कोल्ड वार में सफर कर रहा है?
Sir, in my personal opinion, I think my sense is there is no as such a new Cold War. We are still dominated by the psychology of the Cold War, because we are living in a world where there are multiple countries, great powers like India is also a emerging country and with a substantial stake, and Germany, France, and even Russia, China. So we can't say that it is just Russia and China who are trying to balance the USA. We should have an idea of the world that is more multipolar, that is more multilateral, and that's why I think it's a kind of a discourse that is being supported by the Western scholars at large.
Okay. Soft power diplomacy. आप इसके विषय में कुछ जानते हैं?
Yes, sir. The idea of soft power was actually given by the Joseph Knight, and this diplomacy involves it actually emphasizes on the importance of ideas in the diplomacy, importance of culture, importance of beliefs, importance of political system in the diplomacy of a particular country.
इंडिया के लिए सबसे राइट वे क्या है कि वो सॉफ्टवेयर डिप्लोमेसी पे चले या वो एक पावर ओरिएंटेड डिप्लोमेसी?
Sir, I think India have to survive itself in the world that can neither be totally I will not say dominated, but yes, if we want our stake in the global arena, we have to very cleverly use both soft and the hard diplomacy, because we can't avoid the hard power importance. As we see, China is trying to develop new militaries. We are living in an era where technology is getting very important day by day. So we can't say that only by soft power we can make India great, but definitely soft power is important, since we have a civilizational heritages that can play a very big role in promoting India's image in the international arena.
Okay. Do you know about Indian diplomacy with 5 stans? Please, sir.
Yes, sir. I think sir, you are making sense about Central Asia. Yes, sir. Am I, sir? I think I am right.
Always right.
Yes, sir. Then yes, sir. Recently, in India, in the recent times, emphasized a lot on the Central Asia. Recently, we had a India Central Asia dialogue also. I think this region on the whole is quite important for India. I think it is important from economic perspective, energy perspective, and also from geopolitical perspective, given the situation in Afghanistan. And that's why I think India, especially under the present government, we are emphasizing a lot on these 5 countries. That's a very good.
What is the role of Chabahar and North-South international transport route in the diplomacy with Central Asia?
Yes, sir. So far as Jahabahar port is concerned, India is building that port, and that will provide India connectivity to the Afghanistan and the Central Asian at large. And this Jahabahar port can be connected with the North-South corridor too. That will make the India's access easier to the wider Eurasian region. And that's why two projects can be seen in collaboration of each other, and that can be further interconnected for the wider connectivity relation.
अच्छा, अभी दावोस में IMF की तरफ से एक स्टेटमेंट दिया गया कि व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन द इकोनॉमिक रिसेशन.
Yes, sir.
Recession is opportunity for the Indian economy or challenge for the Indian economy?
Sir, I see it as a both challenge and opportunity. So far as opportunity is concerned, I think when there is a global slowdown, there is a general slowdown, general decline in the oil prices, and that benefits the India at large. Also, India can think of increasing its trade with the other countries. But so far as negative consequences are concerned, definitely the world is, India is also an integrated economy. It's not isolated. It has a wider integration with the global economy. So if world is going into recession, it is going to impact India also.
So what is the role of black dollar in the global political and diplomatic arena?
Sorry sir, I don't know about that.
Black dollar is petrodollar.
Petrodollar.
Last question is from my side. IRNF, Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty, when it was signed, and what is the role of this treaty? And nowadays, America has said
Yes, sir.
this is a mistake by the American political leadership.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was signed during the Cold War period in 1987 between the USSR and USA. The objective was to check the nuclear arms race between the two countries. Recently, Trump has given 180 days ultimatum to the Russia if they do not stick to their. They have alleged that actually Russia is going for nuclear missile testings and something, and that's why they have given alternative. I think that's not good for the world security structure at large, because if Trump withdrew from this agreement, then we have a kind of a global nuclear arms race. I see.
My one question is supplementary question is more. अमेरिका हर एक ट्रीटी से बैक हो रहा है,
Yes.
इंटरनेशनल ट्रीटीज, एंड इंडिया की जो डिप्लोमेसी है वो यूएसए ओरिएंटेड ज़्यादा फील हो रही है. तो इस स्थिति में इंडिया को क्या अपनी डिप्लोमेटिक पाथ को चेंज करना होगा? अदरवाइज जो है एक कंट्राडिक्टरी डिप्लोमेसी भविष्य में हमें देखने को मिलेगी.
So I think India now should, definitely USA is retreating as a global power. That's why I think India should have a one-to-one diplomacy with every country. We can't rely on a particular country and say they will come and harbor me at a particular situation. I think we should have one-to-one diplomacy.
But Quad and Shanghai cooperation not so the one-to-one diplomacy.
So those are multilateral forums where we should have our interests presented, but we can't go for one country at the cost of another, because it is often seen in the recent era that we are somewhere ignoring Russia and more closer to USA. So in the era where we have a very multipolar kind of situation, we should put our arguments on our own strength.
Shubhra, your father is Circle Inspector.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain what is the work of Circle Inspector?
Yes, sir. Actually, in the Bihar administration, at the lowest level, for the development, we have a developmental sector. We have a blocks, and for the revenue sector, we have.
Okay.
And my father is inspector here. Actually, it is related to revenue, land tax collections, and he has to monitor these land tax collections and the mutation of the land. We call Dakhil Kharij and something. He is related to that department.
Okay. Shubhra, we heard about made in China,
Yes.
made in Britain, made in USA.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but our PM is promoting make in India. Why not we promoting made in India?
So I can't differentiate between the two.
Okay, can you differentiate between make in India and made in India?
Make in India means we are inviting some investors from the outside and come in India and invest here in India. But when we say made in India, it is already there. We are trying to make it more polished, more technology investment and sorry sir, I don't-
Okay. पेपर आप पढ़ा है आपने आज?
Yes sir.
उसमें आपने
Front
देखा
page.
होगा कि there are some dispute between central government and West
Yes,
Bengal
sir.
only.
Yes.
What is the dispute?
Sir, it is about the jurisdiction of the CBI. Whether CBI should go and arrest IPS officer who was investigating the chip fund scam or not.
Do you think this type of dispute is against our constitution?
Sir, it definitely weakens our federal structure. Yes, sir. This kind of dispute shows the lack of federal understanding between the center and state.
Okay. Okay. Your basic you completed your basic education from Bihar.
Yes.
Then you come in UP.
Yes,
After
sir.
that you came in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain what is the differences of basic structure of education between these three states?
Sir, I did my graduation from Patna Women's College, and that college was very good, very vibrant in academically. Faculty was quite good. There were a lot of extracurricular activities, a lot of extra courses even we pursued there, and I find that completely good. And yeah, I studied in BHU also. BHU was also good. And since I was staying there in the hostels in BHU, so I can compare BHU and JNU somewhere. In the BHU, we have a very restrictive kind of campuses, especially for the girls, if you look from the gender perspective. But in Jawaharlal Nehru University, the campus is very good. There is a complete gender equality, 24/7 access for both girls and boys to the libraries. But this was not in the BH. Only boys can access library in the night, but not the girls. So academically, both are good. But when it comes to, I think it is due to the location. Since JNU is in Delhi and BHU was in Varanasi, I think the regional factors were somewhere playing some role.
Okay, जब हम जेएनयू की बातें करते हैं तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अनरेस्ट इन जेएनयू, लॉट ऑफ एंटी नेशनल एक्टिविटीज, भारत के टुकड़े होंगे. तो व्हाट इज द मेन कॉजेज ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज?
Sir, I think JNU is a very vibrant campus when it comes to politics. There is no one ideology there. Even within left, they have 5 or 6 organizations. There are rights, there are centers, even so much non-profit organizations. So I think it is a clash of ideas we see. But yeah, some kind of extreme incidents that happened on the 9th of February. I was very new to the campus. I thought this kind of activity should not be there. But yes, sir, whatever happened, it was really sad. It should not have happened.
You are the student of political science. Do you heard about geopolitics?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you heard also about say, Mackinder, Heartland
Yes, sir,
theory,
Mackinder,
Spikeman,
Yes,
Rimland
sir.
theory. So what is the basic difference between Heartland and Rimland?
Sir, I think heartland theory has a focus on land power, but this Rimland theory has a focus on sea power.
Only sea power?
Sorry, sir, but I can't remember.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, Shubhra, you're talking about when JNU and BHU comparison, you said basically on the part of gender inequality.
Yes, sir.
So, one should be gender neutral or gender sensitive?
Gender sensitive.
Gender sensitive.
Yes.
Okay, and you also love to read fiction, non-fiction books on women issues.
Yes, sir.
So, which two latest book you have read about this?
Sir, recently I read Ilavat book Anubandh.
Correct.
And one more book I read of Western writer, that's a Mary Beard book, Women and Power.
Women in power.
Yes, sir.
So what is basically in India we always talk about this, and the government is looking for this women empowerment basically.
Yes, sir.
Can you define what exactly is women empowerment and how this is different with the development or the welfare of women?
Sir, I think if I define women empowerment, it is about giving voice to the women so that she can have a stand on the every issues that concerns herself.
So voice of anything?
Yes, sir. She should have a right to take decision about herself, what she wants to do, how does she want to live. That should be
In
there.
India there are two women which are labeled as a goddess. One is Sita and other is Draupadi. Which you feel is more, you can say, have the modern value?
Yes, sir. These two honorable women, they have. I think if I.
If you're talking about the empowerment, if you're talking about the new women, so in which you look more? The new women like Sita or Draupadi?
Sir, I think these two women were located at a particular, in a particular time, in a particular context. We can't compare the new women with Sita and Draupadi. They have their own time, they have their own place, they have their own location. So today we are in the 21st century, and when we compare of a new women with Sita and Draupadi, I don't find this comparison very much sustainable.
Okay. So why when we talk about the women empowerment, we always take the context from the Western country, as you say also that a Western author you have read. Why not in India much work on this non-fiction work or the women issue or the on the literature part? Why we don't have our own the good literature on this?
So no, I think there are a lot of literatures in India itself. There are so many women writers writing in India. I see like Ismat Chaudhary, Kamla Das. They wrote very earlier. They have written a very good literature on women. So we can't deny that India has a very rich literature on women.
Do you know something about Krishna Sopti?
Yes, sir. Krishna Sopti, she recently died, and
Yes.
she was just.
What about the women empowerment and the gender issues she spoke about?
Sir, I have not read Krishna Sopti very much.
Okay, nowadays some movements about the this gender discrimination has raised out. Basically, I am talking about the Me Too. This Me Too movement, you think this is on the right direction? If there was something wrong happened, it must be raised immediately. Before 20-30 years, the issue you are raising here after this, you don't think there is some other voices, other ideas also?
Sir, I think why this Me Too movement is coming after 30 or 40 years, means women are raising problems that happened to them 20 or 30 years back. I think that's not the problem. The problem is that we can take it positively, that we have created a kind of environment for the women where they can come and put their opinion, and they can say, no, we were exploited at some particular point of time. So I think it's a positive kind of development where women can relate themselves. They can say, no, we have now a voice. That's why it's our achievement. It's the achievement of the society at large, where they are providing a platform for the women where they can come and say, no, something wrong happened to us.
Okay, there are a lot of feminist movement in the nation and worldwide, and there are many kind of the nature of the movement was. And the extremist movement said because of the family, this family institution is one of the hurdle in gender equality. What is
No,
your
sir.
take?
No, sir. I totally support this family institution because family is the basic unit of the society, and that should be preserved at every cost. But I see there should be renegotiation of the gender roles within the family. That's very much important. There should not be a sexual division of labor within the family that sometimes goes against the interest of women.
Ecofeminism also called, and it will always compare that the feminism and the ecological issues go hand in hand. So how this ecofeminism, are you convinced with this?
Yes, sir. Idea of ecofeminism has been given basically by Vandana Shiva, and one more scholar, she is Carolyn Merchant. The idea is that women are more closer closer to the nature because they cook food, they bring woods for cooking, and that's why they can better understand. I think the best example of ecofeminism in India is that Chipko movement that was started by the women. That's why the idea is good. If the nature is being compared with the female nature, there is no problem in it.
You studied political science, PSIR. And what is science in political science? We studied sociology, even we studied geography, but there is no science. We not say that the geographical science. Why political science?
Sir, I think it was the Aristotle who said it is a master science.
Why?
I think, sir, it depends how we define science. Because there are a lot of debates on this issue where even JNU calls it a political studies, not political science, Center for Political Studies in JNU. So I think it depends on how do we define science. I think there is, I personally find nothing wrong in calling political science as a science, because science is something that is more logical, that is more rational, that is more reason-based thinking. So in political science, we have a rationality, we have a logical reasoning, we have a reason-based thinking. So it all depends on how do we define the
So
science.
you don't think that in geography, in sociology, this also? But we never said this is the social science or sociology science.
I don't know about the nomenclature, how did it develop, but
Okay, come on the voting behavior. This is very unpredictable in the country like India.
yes,
And one of the core part of your chapter and your study. One Cambridge Analytica, have you heard about this?
yes, sir.
How come this big data, how come this data can change or read the voting behavior?
Yes, sir. It has a propensity to impact the voting behavior a lot, because once, if an individual is bombarded with a particular kind of information again and again, it has a tendency to change the way of thinking of an individual. So, profiling can be done.
Okay, so how come this country, the Prime Minister is working for the digital India,
Yes, sir.
but we are the one, you can say, illiterate, our major population, they don't know about the computer knowledge. Even we are so innocent that anyone asks our password, we can give it to him. So we are so innocent. And we are talking about digital India. You don't think this is very idealistic and we have to wait for next 20, 30 years to get this digital India?
Sir, I think digital literacy and digital infrastructure, that should go together. We can't wait for 20 or 30 years for the digital India to be a reality. But yes, we should have a very strong awareness program, digital, especially at the schools level. Student must be made aware about the digital impact, because often the children, they are more being influenced by this digital world. That's why I think we should have a very strong programs, workshops at the school level itself, where children realize what kind of information they are
Okay,
going
my
to
last
get
question.
exposed.
Argument, discussion and debate. What is the difference among them and which you think is the better one?
Sir, I think discussion.
Why? And what is the difference between the discussion and debate?
Sir, when we debate, we either speak for the motion, against the motion. But when we are discussing something, we are more democratic. We acknowledge each other's opinions, make our points, listen to other points. So it's more deliberative in nature.
Mr. Amar Sen wrote a book named Argumentative India, and he says, yes, this is a very positive thing also. So,
Yes, sir. Arguments in itself, but since here I am making a comparison, that's why I said I will support discussion.
So India was faced with a situation of huge NPA, non-performing assets. So if I were to ask you to hold responsibility, so who are those, I mean, in order of priority, say top three, where there is a lapse, where you think who have not done their job or who have made mistakes?
Sir, actually, there was a report in economic survey regarding this, And the basic problem lies in the infrastructural schemes, infrastructure initiatives that were taken by the.
No, I am asking that fix up responsibility. Who are the agencies or people who are
I think
responsible?
responsibility should be distributed. Both all creditors who have given the loans and who were assigned the loans, those companies who received these loans.
It's just a matter of those two.
Sir, and one more thing, we should have a good implementation infrastructure so that we can easily acquire lands.
Was there some institutional failure or was it an individual contractual failure between the bank and the creditor, credit person taking the credit?
Sir, I see this as an institutional failure.
In what sense? Can you elaborate?
Sir, because we as an institution could not implement properly those infrastructural projects in a viable manner, and that's why
Okay.
the situation created.
Last question. Demonetization. A lot of time has happened. I want you to evaluate whether it was a success or failure.
I will go by some data. Actually, RBI report itself said that 99% of the monies came back in the system. So it was a mix of both. It was somewhere have a negative consequences of the economy because there was a lot of job losses and it severely impacted the informal sector of the economy. But yes, there are some positive reports too regarding this demonetization, especially about the cracking on the cell companies. And there is a more formalization of the Indian economy. Recently, we have seen that there is a widening of the tax base also after the demonetization. So it's a both mix.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.